conversation versus an interview. But Chris, how are you?
I'm doing really great. Yeah, I'm doing awesome. So thankful to be here with you today too. And I think this is going to be a really fun conversation. And I noticed that we're just going live on Instagram too. So hi
Hi,
everyone on Instagram and
everybody.
across all the social platforms. This is so fun to be able to spread this message with everyone.
Oh, this is so great. You are one of the creators of the Ultimate Wellbeing Bundle. Is that right? That
Yeah,
you
back
and
in
Melissa put this together?
Yeah, in 2019, we were talking, both of us had been a part of a couple different plant-based and vegan bundles, and we were both thinking the same thing, and we were talking behind the scenes, and it's funny because 'cause we've talked about it, we don't remember who actually said it, but both of us were thinking the same thing. We're like, "We should do a raw bundle together." And we're both like, "Yes, we should," and we've been thinking about it, but neither of us felt like we'd have the, capacity to do it completely by ourselves, and Liz and
Yeah.
I really complement each other incredibly well, and have been friends, since earlier and around, oh gosh, was it 2013 or 15, somewhere in there. So yeah, we just got together, started planning it out, and started tooting the horn, and calling and messaging all of our friends that are into raw foods, and started building it up, and now this is the fifth year and seventh bundle. So it's been an amazing, amazing project. Bringing so many
It's
people together because we both recognize that we're way stronger together, when all of us come together and spread our passion.
it's so incredible. And like you said, you're bringing people together, and I think this is my first year in the bundle, and what I'm noticing most is the like-mindedness and just the, oh my gosh, the upliftment of everyone is so kind and helpful, patient, so patient too.
Yeah.
And so you and Lissa, are you from Canada? Are you both from Canada? Did you know each other in Canada? Is that how I can tell
Yeah,
by your accent?
yeah, yeah. Hey, you don't hear my Canadian accent, eh? Get out of here, eh? No, yeah. I'm from Saskatchewan. I grew up there until yeah, I grew up in Saskatoon until 17, and then moved to Vancouver and Edmonton and Los Angeles, all over the place. But she grew up in
Wow.
Edmonton, which wasn't too far from me. And it's funny because when I lived in Edmonton, we didn't know each other because I lived there like 98. And funny enough, I moved there in 98 because that's when I was 18, and that was the legal drinking age, whereas every other province
Right.
in Canada was 19. So I went there to drink and with friends and skateboard. But
Yeah.
we didn't meet up until later. But the first time we met was in Edmonton. I was motorbiking through and met up with her, and we connected over a nice juice at a raw food restaurant and have been friends ever since.
She's just so wonderful. She's so genuine and real, so kind, like such a big, huge heart. So I
Absolutely.
can see that the two of you would really connect and
Yeah,
be so good together. And so
yeah, for
you
sure.
you coordinate the bundle, but you also write for the bundle too.
Yeah,
Um, every time the bundle comes out, you write for it as well, and so you have to correct all of our or look through all of our work, make sure we're all in line, get everything out in time. That's so huge. There's so many moving parts to this bundle, you guys. The bundle is so incredible too because especially this is my first year, but there's
yeah,
so much in the bundle. So much, not just well there's recipes, there's skincare. You have the model diet, right?
yeah.
And a master class of was it over 17 hours of classes with
Mhm.
Dr. Doug Graham with the 80-10-10 diet. What is that all about? Like, I'm so excited. Just for that alone, that's got to be worth like thousands of dollars. I mean, just the
Pretty
class alone.
awesome. I feel so honored that, Dr. Graham trusted me with his baby because, the 80-10-10 diet is a classic, often considered the Bible of the low-fat raw food movement, and, he's a
Mm.
giant in the game and been a friend and colleague. He's the one who really got me right into raw food. I was always going towards it, but yeah, he's amazing, and I also just wanna say we're so blessed and happy that you're a part of the bundle, and this is your first, and I hope that you just
Oh,
wanna be a part of everyone that we do after this. Um
I do.
yeah. Oh, it's so fun. Yeah, it'll
I
be so
do.
so so awesome because it is just amazing to grow as a community. This lifestyle can be kind of isolating for people, especially in the beginning, and can be challenging socially, again, especially in the beginning. But coming together like this, we get to recharge, connect, with
Yes.
like-minded people and, remember why we're doing this, to live vibrantly and to shine a light so other people see it and wanna come
Ah,
join us because it's the water's nice in here, it's pretty sweet.
it's
But,
it's so sweet in here. It's the waters are perfect. How long have you been raw?
I just celebrated 22 years, so I went raw
Oh,
in 2004, the day
good for
after I met
you.
Dr.
Wow, how did you 2 meet each other?
Well, I was in school in Vancouver, Canada to become a registered holistic nutritionist, and midway through that schooling, I went to a vegan health festival, and he was one of 3 raw vegan speakers. And I had read about raw food. I read about raw food first in 1999, but I was just slowly going towards an all raw diet. And when I first went into school, I was high raw and some all raw days, but I couldn't figure it out. And so when I went to that festival, I was so excited that there was raw speakers because I hadn't met anyone who was an actual raw foodist. And I went to one talk with another fella, and it was good. But then I went to one with Doug, and he was glowing. It's one of those Satori moments where I was just like, he was literally glowing, like, no word of a lie. I saw his emanation. I was like, "Oh my god, this guy has something to share." Like, this is, like,
Wow.
legit, and I listened to everything. I talked to him at the end of his class, and, he sat down to, like, a full crate of blueberries for dinner, just, like, eating handfuls of blueberries, and I was like, "Blueberries for dinner? Wow." Like, I was used to fruit for breakfast and lunch, but not, like, a fruit dinner, and
Yes.
he cleared it up for me, like, literally just hanging out talking with him. I was like, "I'm a amateur skateboarder, I wanna go pro, I've had, some joint issues and this and that," and he cleared it up so much that that next day I was just like, "I got this," and that was the heart opening moment. It is crazy, I tell you, Marabella, because before that, I'd been studying nutrition since '99 and yoga at first, then nutrition, and
Okay, yes,
I
yes.
had zero interest to utilize it as a profession. I really just was doing it so that I could heal faster for skateboarding, and
Right.
the next day, though, my heart center burst open and I had tears in my eyes. I was like, "This is my purpose. This is why I'm here." And ever since then, that's been my full direction to share how good you can feel, how connected you can feel when you come into alignment with nature and, more in touch with yourself. And so, yeah, it was
Yes.
life-changing. And I saw him again that day, and then we didn't see each other for years, but we've become really good friends, and I've stayed with him and, spoken from the same stage and festivals, and I've been his chef at retreats and whole bunch of fun stuff.
Oh my gosh, I just absolutely love that. I love this. And so he has a book called 80-10-10 as well, right?
Yeah, the
And
eighty
then
ten
you
diet, and it's actually in the
80
masterclass.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. So what I know we want everyone to buy the book, but is there anything you can share?
Oh, of
Like
course.
the Yeah, about that book. I think that's so fascinating and it will be so helpful because so many people, they're curious about raw. Like I've been raw for 4 years, but
Yeah.
I've been, a mix of high raw and raw.
Mhm.
But coming into this community has really helped me to stay raw.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people want to try raw.
Mhm.
They wanna feel their best. I don't even think they know how
Mhm.
good they can actually feel, like, they have no idea.
Yeah.
And I think I feel like just having that information where you're actually talking to, um, Dr. Doug Graham and doing your interviews can
Mhm.
really help people, like, so much.
I totally agree, and that's why I'm so overjoyed that he said yes, and that he also said to
Yeah.
include it in the bundle. And, you were spot on earlier too that, when we were making it was originally gonna be kind of a short mini course, and then it just blossomed and became much bigger. And we were talking about
Wow.
how much it would cost outside of the bundle, and then also like, wow, like, we decided on 749, which is a pretty low price actually for how much is in there. But we
Yeah.
decided, like, "Should this even go in the bundle?" Like, "This is pretty big," and we were like, "You know what? We just wanna be more helpful and spread this message even further, and, people need to hear this, and it's just such a great place to launch," So we decided to put it in there. And, it is kind of important, I think, to note too that, yeah, you don't have to be, an aspiring raw foodist or even a vegan to enjoy this bundle because it can meet you where you're at, and really anybody can increase their percentage of raw foods and, be more aware of the holistic lifestyle practices that make them feel better, brighter, happier, more grounded. And, this bundle really showcases all of that. It goes into all of it. So, uh, the 80-10-10 masterclass itself, it is quite comprehensive. Dr. Graham has said specifically that, it only overlaps like a small single digit percentage of what's actually in the book. And where the book really teaches
Wow.
you, this helps you apply it because, this is more in depth, more different angles than any other project he's ever put together or done. So it's all new stuff,
Wow.
really good kind of questions and information that really can help hold you by the hand and get you to where you want to go. And every single video also, there's 29 total, and 26 are in the actual modules. And every video that's in a module comes with a handout that has kind of a synopsis, as well as another handout that has really detailed action steps for you to
Oh,
bring these lessons home, because it's through that application you really grow in the wisdom of the information.
I'm just having these downloads of, like, if you got the bundle and you do, because I'm going to take after the bundle's over, I'm diving into your masterclass,
Oh, I
and
would
wouldn't
love
it be great to have, like, little groups doing the
Mhm.
masterclass together? Have you
Yeah.
thought of that? Like, online groups are just it'd be great in person because then you could, like, I love in person for sure, but even online, it would be so great to dive into all this with people. Like,
Oh,
then you have,
absolutely.
like, your pals around you to help you and to uplift you, like we do in this like we're doing in the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, how everyone is so helpful. How generous of
Oh,
you and Dr. Doug Graham
huge.
to put this in the bundle. Like, this is
Yeah,
huge and
yeah.
so helpful to everyone, and I love how you said that you don't necessarily have to jump in and go all the way,
Mhm.
vegan or raw vegan if you don't want to. You can just absorb the knowledge and start with a little bit, maybe replace one meal, maybe start out I started out with green juice, that was, like,
Mhm.
my gateway in, started out there. You just start to feel so good that it
Yeah,
replaces the things that it replaces, like, sitting around watching Netflix, it replaces drinking, eating foods that make you feel yucky. Then
yeah,
when you go try to go back to those things, you just feel terrible, and
yeah.
you don't wanna do that anymore, so, you're just so used to feeling so good for so long. Thank you so much for sharing that's amazing right there, but you also have another contribution. Or did you
I
have
do.
anything else you wanted to say about the 80-10-10?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't mind mentioning, as
Yeah,
you mentioned, like, no matter where you start, positive change begets more positive change, because you feel better and you start to draw the lines and the clarity that you get from applying it to what actually feels good. And like you said, you start eating other stuff again. You're like, oh, this didn't feel as good as I thought it did. And I feel so much more
yeah,
energetic and lighter when I eat this, right? So it just becomes a steamroller that, if you play it like an experiment and you enjoy the process and you hone in on yourself and feel your body, and that it just becomes more second nature over time. And there is no have tos or shoulds, but we of course provide a framework, and it's so awesome because, Dr. Graham is my original inspiration, and he's probably brought about more raw food leaders in the scene than anyone else out there. And this gives that opportunity to really open it up to everyone who maybe has heard about it, but to go deeper than he's ever went before. And
yeah.
you mentioned a second ago with the group. I just want to mention that because I haven't said this yet. So this is actually breaking news right here.
Oh,
Um,
hey. Yay.
Something that's really fun is in the group as it is now. So it is an evergreen class. And so as soon as you sign up, like through the bundle, you purchase the bundle, and we should mention that's in both of our links in our bios on Instagram and also in the descriptions of all the other places. So you can grab that, while we're watching
Yes,
or afterwards. But
absolutely.
once you get the bundle, you'll be sent an email with all of the downloads, and we're talking 31 plus downloads. And for the masterclass, you download the PDF, and it has instructions on what to click, a big button to go actually access the masterclass. And as soon as you do that, you create a profile in the Experienceify page. That's where the class is hosted. And
Okay.
so you create a profile, and it starts dripping out. And the way that it's designed is that you basically get a week per each section. So module one
Oh,
is 1 week, and then that allows you time to absorb it and do the action steps. And then module two is a week. And then module three is actually broken up into 2 weeks because it's a little longer. Module four is one, and module five is two more. But under every single video is a comment box. So you can give feedback, and so far everything has been so positive
Oh,
and
that's
people are really
great.
loving it. So people can have a
Yeah,
little community in there, even though it's an evergreen course with people kind of starting back and forth. I'll admit,
yes,
I don't know the function of being able to connect with people through their chats, like if you can actually like private message anyone, that's beyond my current understanding, something I'm gonna
yeah,
look into. But,
uh-huh,
that's the current kind of, ability to kinda connect and see other people and be in the chat. And we have talked though, because this is again, this is evergreen, so it's just, you start anytime and then you go along
okay,
that drip sequence. But we have
yeah,
talked in the future to launch like a group course where we'll have a set start date and we'll include, you know, at least somewhere between 5 or more live calls with Dr. Graham and I. But that, of course,
wow,
having those live calls will have an even more premium price. So that will probably be upwards of like $1,400 or more, maybe 15.
yeah, so you
That's in the
guys get
future.
the bundle
Yeah, this
now.
is this is the time to soak up all the
Get
information
it,
at the
yeah,
absolute best price. Because when you're thinking about like
ugh,
32 products for 50 bucks, it's like 2 bucks, less than 2 bucks each. It's crazy.
it's crazy, and it's so good, like, I mean, there's something for everyone, these classes are so incredible, and then, we've got a whole array of recipes, raw vegan skincare, Alyssa has her perimenopause book, so many great contributions, unbelievable. And,
So blessed to be part.
where you and I kind of meet is, with the chakras. I contributed a book called, The Radiant Body, and I'm talking about 8 of our chakras,
Mhm.
and, I've combined meditations and recipes, and descriptions about the chakras, and the meditations are with a QR code, so you can actually hear my
Oh,
voice,
cool.
and
Nice.
I think you told me I think you told me this, like, a few weeks ago that you have the chakras tattooed on your back. Is that
Yeah, you
true?
know, it's yeah, it is such a an awe I love your book. I just love your book, and,
Oh, thank
we're
you.
definitely along the same wavelength. I
Yeah.
got into yoga through power yoga, but then I met Kundalini yoga and got more into the chakras and, building that energy and have done some stuff around that, and I do actually have the chakras, and they're actually in the anatomical position. So the root is actually right on my perineum, and then the rest
Yeah.
go up my spine, right up to my neck. I don't have the third eye or the crown because I have all this luscious lion-like hair, but I actually do intend, when my third eye is officially open, I'll get that third eye. I feel pretty open in the throat, and I feel really good being up there. And the crown,
Yeah.
I'll likely get it at some point as well. But I think I want to do the
Oh,
crown in gold, and then of course the third eye in a purple.
oh, that's incredible, and I've always been curious of Kundalini because I come from more of a Hatha background, but
Yeah.
Kundalini has always fascinated me, and I
Mhm.
started my yoga journey do you remember a show called Inhale with Steve Ross from way back?
The name rings a bell, but I don't remember if I saw the show itself. Oh, I see a
Yeah.
comment here. Let's see.
Oh.
Oh, thanks, brother. Just cranking out lives lately. It's so good to be doing all these lives. That's one of the beautiful things about the bundle I just wanna mention too is, like,
Yeah.
we're all coming together and sharing what we're passionate about, and even if you don't get the bundle, you can get so much from all these lives, so stoked for that.
Absolutely. This bundle is so giving. I mean, just it's all about giving and about sharing and including as many people as we can, like, just naturally. It's just flowing so naturally. So
Mhm.
amazing.
Wow.
I absolutely love it. Oh, and you have another book too called The Model Diet. I'm so
I do.
curious about that. Anything you can share about that
You know what?
one?
I am excited to share about it, but I'm actually my curiosity is now perked about that show that
Oh,
you just mentioned with, was it
mm,
Steve or
Steve Ross, and he has
Scott
a
Steve
book
Ross,
called Happy Yoga, and
yeah.
I actually met him at I used to live in Las Vegas, and I met him at the Las Vegas library,
Yeah, yeah,
and you know how you were talking about Dr. Doug Graham glowing? I
yeah.
wasn't, I was plant-based, but I wasn't raw vegan at the time.
Mhm.
I was kind of in and out of raw vegan, but I didn't know that was what it was called. But
Yeah,
Steve Ross was glowing. He had a
yeah.
show on, one of the networks back in the day in the early 2000s, um, not OWN, but I can't remember what network it was, but he wrote a book called Happy Yoga. And when you saw him doing yoga on TV, he looked kind of goofy,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
super flexible. But when I met him, he was glowing.
yeah,
I have never seen a person so radiant.
yeah.
And he looked like if you saw him on TV, he kind of just looked like an everyday guy. But in person, whoa, the glow. So he must have been raw too. I didn't
Yeah.
think to ask him at the time. And his book, Happy Yoga, he did sign it for me. And then I ended up giving it to another yoga teacher to borrow, and I never got it back.
Oh, no.
I know.
Well,
I
hopefully
know.
you read it often enough that you, got all you
Yeah.
need.
It was so good, so down to earth, so simple. He had his yoga classes too, like, um, all different types of music. It wasn't just yoga music. It was more contemporary. And so I started doing yoga, and then, I got into yoga through Steve Ross. So that's funny. I didn't know I was gonna say that today. But, it was so great. I loved it so much. It was, like, life-changing. And then I took classes, like, kind of wherever I could. I went to college and I took, some classes in college, and
Mhm.
I taught yoga for just a little bit. Like, I taught yoga in a park, and then later on, I taught yoga in my office, and it opened the door for me for so many things. And then, but I didn't, and then I took an intensive yoga teacher training class. It was in
Mhm.
Rockland, California, and it was every Sunday, 8 hours for 6 months. And I learned
Wow.
so much
Yeah,
under
I
the lineage of Paramahansa Yogananda. So
yeah,
under
oh,
that
wow.
lineage,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so exciting. We
I
went
went to
to
a sorry, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead, yeah.
I was just gonna say I went to a live talk with the last living disciple of Yogananda, before he passed away in Los Angeles, and speaking of glowing, I had never seen anyone glow like that, and he was orange. I've never seen orange ever, and he was just, like, beaming, like,
Wow.
crazy. Neil Donald Walsh was
Oh,
there too, it was pretty amazing. But, sorry, go on.
yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I got to see a lot of, like, the yoga communities. We got to do little field trips in this, and it was such great information, so great. But, I didn't learn the chakras
Yeah.
until I moved to, because I think, yeah, the chakras are more, Kundalini, where Hatha, it was more, um I don't know. It was more about they were more about teaching
Technology?
the meditation
Yeah,
and, like, doing the poses in order to get deeper into meditations. I learned meditation as well, and it
yeah,
was just, really an opening in my life, just life-changing, so life-changing. And then when I moved to Loon Lake, Washington, uh, not too far from my house, somebody was teaching yoga in this dome on the lake. I live on a lake,
mhm,
and they made a yoga dome for her to teach in, and
mhm.
that's where I learned about the chakras,
Oh,
and I just started to do, like, tune into them myself and
mhm,
kind of ask for information about them, and then
mhm,
over time, gained more understanding.
mhm,
And then when I found actual raw, like, the way that I came to raw vegan is that a friend wanted to do a cleanse with me. We
mhm.
only ate vegetables, nuts, and seeds, so basically raw vegan, but we didn't know that's what it was called. And
Yeah,
then, we were to cut out all cell phones, social media, everything, and just be meditating and nature, out in nature, hiking. And we were supposed to do it we did it for 7 days, but I felt
yeah.
so good that I
Oh,
wanted to continue. So that
yeah,
was my first go around with raw vegan. I tried to stay on it as best as I could, but
yeah,
it wasn't until I found raw vegan on YouTube that I
yeah,
actually was like, "This is it. This is it for
yeah,
me. This is how I feel like myself." I feel like myself, like, yoga took me a little ways and raw food took
mm,
me the rest of the way. Like, the
mhm,
2 go together. It's like after yoga, you learn what you're supposed to eat, like, what feels good in your body, and so
mhm,
raw vegan is just the best for
mhm,
everything, for my brain, for my body, for my energy, mostly my energy. So,
mhm,
then I think it was Kiko invited me. She's like, "You should do the raw vegan bundle." I was like,
Oh,
"Really? No, do you think?" And she's like, "Yeah." So then I was like, "Okay, I'm doing it. I know I'm gonna write about raw food and the chakras. It's a no-brainer, and that's what I'm doing."
I'm
And so
so happy that she did invite you and that you did. It's such a
yeah.
beautiful, contribution to the bundle, and I mean, it's 100% right up my alley as well, so,
Yeah.
not that I'm biased, I think it's amazing and really does, like you said, merge with everything, yoga and raw food can go hand in hand so powerfully, and I mean, a yogic diet is essentially a raw-based diet, and a compassion diet is a vegan diet, like, they are really closely linked.
Yes.
It's just such a perfect fit.
So perfect. And I try to do everything heart-centered, like from the
Mhm,
heart
mhm,
and, compassion. And I just feel like raw vegan is it puts you in a state of feeling compassion for others,
mhm,
and I feel like what the best we can do is to keep ourselves and our energy, um, as I wanna say pure and clean as we can. I know it's difficult in life and with so much going on, but
yeah.
we carry these life codes and light codes, and so we
Mhm,
are able to actually help to change the energy in a room just by keeping our own energy intact.
yeah,
So, I feel like the chakras are kind of a place for people that they can start with that. They can look at the book and they can find a recipe or, Chef Yin said
mhm.
that she's using the meditations every day.
Oh,
I
that's
thought that
awesome.
was so
She's so
sweet.
sweet.
Yeah. And so, you can do that. You can
Mhm,
just scroll through and see what you're drawn to and go for it, try a new recipe. There's so
mhm.
much you can do with it. And later on, I might wanna put it in a hardback just
Oh,
so people
cool.
can just open it up and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this today," or I'm feeling drawn to green today for some reason," or, just all these different ways of exploring and playing with the book, I feel like.
That's so beautiful, and I think a hardcover would be amazing, and it's just so awesome because, like, this is such old information and, but at
Yes.
the same time, it's reemerging and being spread even more effectively, widespread now, and, some people might think like, "Oh, that sounds so woo-woo, this and that," but,
Yeah.
there is an energetic reality to it, and whether or not you, like, believe in um the exact emanating light or the energy signatures or that they're spinning, whatever those things,
Yes,
that
right.
isn't even as important in the sense that, each of these different chakras have different qualities, have different foods and, different vibrations that we can apply. And it brings more attention to those different centers, so like when we're talking about heart and being from the heart, it can just be as simple as like recognizing the warmth in your heart when you're having an inspired conversation or when you're with someone or someone you love or with an animal and choosing to put attention and focus there and feel that and let it expand and even just through those simple practices and that awareness shifting and applying the different delicious recipes for each of the chakras, you're nourishing those different aspects of self, and it's just like, being a fully
Yes.
integrated person is understanding all those different aspects and being accepting of them and doing your best to nourish them and grow, in the ways you can. Because, like you said, we're in a pretty wild world that can push us down, but with heightened awareness and all the things we learn in the bundle, it just makes us lighter and brighter and sets us in that direction of more emotional freedom and connection.
Yes, 100%. Absolutely. And so have you done a lot of work with the chakras? I mean, since that you have them tattooed, or what are they meaningful to you in your life?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been getting tattoos since I was 16 years old. I have like
Yeah,
90 hours of work, and I'll admit I sometimes get criticism like, "How can you be into health and have tattoos?" And we all make compromises. We live in cities,
mm,
or we use things like this, and a whole bunch of
right.
different stuff. I, I make my choices, and I stand by them, and I move on and do the rest I can to be as healthy as humanly possible. But definitely, yeah, I got them because they were such a huge part of my life, and when I first got into yoga, it was power, and then I kind of got into hatha, and then near my house in Vancouver, there was a studio that was teaching Kundalini, and I was I've always been pretty broke. Like, I mean, I'm a little better now, but I've never been in huge abundance there. So the Kundalini class was free if you went at 3 a.m. with the major devotees, or 3:30 a.m. And so I'd
Yes.
be bobbing down the hill on my skateboard in cutoff jean shorts, showing up at the Kundalini studio where everyone's in full white with the bindi and, like, totally
Yeah.
locked in, like, ready for their 3:30 a.m. session, and
Wow.
I just loved it, like, I just loved it, and I felt so much through it that I brought it home, and it became my main home practice. It still is the basis of my main home
Oh,
practice, and,
yeah.
I just became enamored in the entire concept, and I think part of it is because, in my younger years, I used to do a lot of magic mushrooms, and I'd sit out in
Mhm.
nature and see energy fields and auras and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And it wasn't
Mhm.
until, with Doug Graham that I saw one not being on a hallucinogenic plant. I think that kind of opened that
Yes.
gateway a little bit. But because of that, and then getting into yoga and really diving deeper into the Kundalini, I just had a really deep connection and desire to learn more with that. So I read more things on chakras, on aura reading, and for a long time,
Mhm.
that was a huge passion. And it was almost 10 years that I had in vision to get the chakras tattooed along my back and, in the starting at the root. And I remember telling my tattoo artist, because 'cause I'd been thinking about it almost a decade. I'm like, "Man, I wanna get these chakra tattoos, but I want them to be anatomical, and I wanna start on the perineum." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, yeah," like, "Maybe someone else will do that one," and just laughing, and and I was like, "Okay," like, I kinda, like, sat back for a bit, but then I came back, I'm like, "No, dude, like, I talked to someone else, she'll do the root if you want." He's like, "Oh, you're really serious?" It's like, "Okay, well, let's do it," and it's funny because, we actually filmed the whole process, and it's my most watched video on YouTube, like,
I'm
by
gonna
far.
check it out.
Yeah,
Wow, that's so cool.
or what does it say? Perineum or taint tattoo. It's on the Rod Vanish, and it's not on my site 'cause it's not really super raw food specific, but it is specific
Yes.
to me because I really do believe that, where your attention goes, energy flows, and I figured, 1, the actual intention and putting that pain spot there during the practice is gonna bring way more attention to that area, and then 2, it's just like a continual reminder, like, I have it on my body, and I really resonate with the different qualities of each chakra, and bring myself into those spaces in opportune times. Kind of like you're saying, when you're in conversation with someone and things start to feel a little bit discord, well, breathe back into the heart and come from there, and before speaking from the throat. And if I'm not feeling grounded, well,
Yes.
I get outside and get my bare feet on the ground, and all
Yes.
those different aspects really enrich my life and just bring more focus to the things that are really important to me, and allow me to also see when I feel like I'm going a little bit off kilter, and make that intention to come back to center.
That's amazing. That's so ma you said so many things here. Um, that's incredible that you had the tattoo, the root chakra tattoo in the right place.
Yeah.
I would never have
I was in
thought
I
of
was in
that,
Tattoo Baby
and
for an hour getting it.
oh my gosh, oh my
And there's full
gosh.
video footage. I had underwear, and I cut a hole out of it and duct taped it, so there was no, like, I couldn't get it flagged on YouTube. So amazingly, it's still,
Right.
still going strong, but, it's a little graphic, but
Um,
there's nothing, no bits or anything like that that can't be shown.
that's incredible, and that was, like, a practice in itself of sitting through
Mhm.
pain
Yeah.
and probably breathing and focusing, and did you have anything for the pain, or did you just go right through it?
I just went through it. It was a
Wow.
meditation for sure, and actually, I believe,
Meditation.
yeah, when doing tattoos, it's an amazing chance to meditate. And,
Yeah,
I believe it
absolutely.
actually, I think it was a decade ago, like, just recently, because my tattoo artist just shared it the other day, and he said, like, a decade ago. So I think it was a decade ago that I got it, like, pretty much right around this time.
Oh my gosh, that's wild. And you mentioned seeing auras too. Have you ever looked this is such a silly side note, but have you ever looked at the aura of a lemon?
I can't say I have. No, like, I mean, I may have in passing, but it's not something that jumps out. Mostly it was
Amazing.
nature. Is it,
Oh
how is
my
it?
gosh, it's like purple, and
Yeah.
then it does like a trail
Mhm.
of the aura. It's the
Oh, wow.
brightest aura I've seen. Yeah, because I like to look at the auras of trees sometimes, or I get into that sometimes too.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, I'm gonna look at this lemon. In fact, Sky and I have a podcast called Raw Magic, and
Oh,
I'm gonna
cool.
see if we can have you on it because you'd fit right in with us.
Well,
We like
I
to
love
talk
Sky
about
and
all things raw and magic, and you guys are both Leos, so that would be so fun.
we do have that roar about us, that's for sure. No, that'd be really fun to jump in on there, and, you know, it is wild because you know how I mentioned before, there was a period of time where that was, like, a heightened focus, and there was, like, massive intention, and, you know, part of my thought was that, you know, like, later on, I would be consulting people and utilizing aura readings in a part of that consultation, and, you know,
Right,
having done this for a long time and getting into that, I've gone through so many different stages, and there's been parts of time where, you know, like, I don't see auras on everyone all the time by any means. I
right.
usually more so see them, like, at specific times, like, I've seen them around some yogis and, you know, Dr. Graham and, you know, the autobiography of a yogi person, and if I really sit with it and
Yes.
put that intention there, but, there's also been periods of time where I didn't really see anything, you know, where it kinda went back to, like, really focusing more on physicality and, you know, that wasn't really my focus, and it's just so amazing, that phrase, and I know it's a catchphrase, like, you know, "Where your attention goes, energy flows," right? And, um,
Yes.
it really rings true for me because when I have put more time, patience, and attention to that, then that is much more, a presence in my reality, and when I'm a little bit
Mhm.
more wrapped up in my, you know, physicality or in, like, you know, technological, like, work world and stuff like that, and I'm, like, maybe not
Yes.
quite as rooted in myself or in that sense, then it seems
Mhm.
to diminish a little bit, not completely gone, but,
Mhm.
just not as much
Yeah.
of a present focus, but I feel a little bit of a stirring back in that direction, and I've seen some, you know, when I chill with some people and just, like, you know, you soften your gaze and sit back and chill and breathe into your heart and feel, you know, then things are a little bit more vibrant and, showy, you know, but, this
Yeah,
world is
right.
magic. You know, this world is
It's
magic, and there are definitely things
yeah.
beyond our normal perception, but everyone can awaken to wider perception. And, you know, this lifestyle, yoga, mindfulness,
Mhm.
all of those things I think can really open doorways and make things that weren't as easily perceived more so in anyone's life.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Raw food, all that yoga, anything that people do that helps to raise their vibration so that they feel good.
Yeah.
Anything hiking, nature.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I want to ask you about your other book. I don't know how to gracefully segue from this into that.
All good, it's all good.
But I love this conversation. I could talk for hours with you on this, but I really want to hear about your other book, The Model Diet, because that's another part of you too. You have so many facets. You're like a crystal. You have lots to you,
Wear a
don't
lot
you?
of hats. I wear a lot of
We're
hats, you know, but we try and box ourselves into things. I don't like to do that. I just like to flow with what is really present and, abundant and, you know, a passion of mine. I've been a passion-driven person since as far back as I remember, like, I was crystal clear that skateboarding was all I wanted to do, and I did it, and then all of a sudden I'm like, "Raw food, oh my gosh," and yoga, oh my god, and, like, pouring into all of it. And with the model diet, though, it is fun because it is a concept I came up with in 2013, and I bought the URL for it and intended to have a little separate site and a little book with it, but it got put on the back burner, and more recipe books kind of went into the forefront. And you know, I now have I think like 15 books or something like that. I got quite a few, and
Oh,
but this year it just like I wasn't really feeling drawn to making another recipe book. You know, I've made meal plans and so many recipe books. I still have some in the back of my mind, but I was just like, this is the time to come up with a model diet. It's really the accumulation of everything that I've learned since 1999, getting into health and yoga and nutrition, and then even deeper dive, of course, from 2004 with the raw food because it is raw food focused, but with
right.
veganism, compassion, and heart-based living
Mm,
at the absolute center of everything. You know, so
yeah.
it's kind of I guess it could be like a guidebook to a holistic raw food diet, you know, with the heart and, a sense of ease and compassion for self really at the center, so that you can radiate that out for everyone else and be that lighthouse to be a true steward of the animals and the planet and be sitting in your own power with it.
Yeah, oh, I love that. I love that. And so was there a time when you were modeling? Is that why, or is it model like the right way, or is it model like posing model?
I love it. I love all this. I've always wanted to get into modeling. Before I did what I'm doing now, I was an extra in some movies and TV shows
Oh,
in
that's
Vancouver,
cool.
and I've done a little bit of that out here in Sweden as well. I would love to do more. The Leo side of me wants to do it, but very
Yes.
honest, one I
And you
do
have
like when
the
I'm
Leo hair,
I got the
the
Leo hair.
mane.
And, I'll be fully transparent, like, when I'm in my element, I feel just like, buoyant and vibrant and really excited and like, so excited. And when I'm doing kind
Yeah.
of acting, kind of modeling stuff, I feel that way. When I'm talking about raw foods and yoga, I feel that way. When I'm skateboarding,
Mhm.
I feel that way. And, that just really lends me to wanting to do more. But I have been
Yes.
putting way more focus in skateboarding and raw food,
Mm.
really. That's been like the main thing. So, if you're a director
Ah,
out there, you want some, some Banana Commander
yes.
action, let's talk, But,
That's funny.
kind of going back to the model diet, when I came up with the idea of it, there was the component that it is a sad reality that a lot of people who are looking to look their best, or who are in the modeling industry or who feel like they can only be attractive if they're thin, that they're doing from a place of fear, from a place of shame, from a place of um, neglect of their true needs, from a place of restriction. There's a lot of drug abuse and
Yeah.
starvation, like self-starvation in those areas. And like, you know, the world really promotes this like really thin, like good looking, blah, 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 like on all the covers and stuff.
Yes.
So a lot of people desire that. But again, they come at it from a place where they feel like it's unachievable or that it's restriction based and all those kinds of things, which, it's a real issue, and I was wanting to
Yes.
offer another perspective that, hey, you can look and feel your best and have ease in being your optimal body weight on an abundant lifestyle that is incredibly healthful, and is also the best for the planet, the best for the animals, and puts you even
Mhm.
more in touch with yourself and your true needs and your connections with others. And it's just like every single way, so that is one component. And of course, the cover and the title, it kind of plays on that. It's a bit of, I've said recently, it's a bit of a thirst trap. It's a little bit kind of showy, my Leo flair coming through.
I
But
like it. It's good. It's
oh,
brave.
thank you. Thank you.
It's good.
But the other aspects, which are just as key, if not more, is that it's a trifecta. It's a model as in nature's model, or a species-specific approach based on physiology and anatomy. And it's a
Yeah.
model as in an ideal template, like, and then it is a model as in, being optimal for looking and feeling your best. And it's a truth that, health and vibrancy is attractive, so it fits all three
Right.
of those definitions and
Yeah.
is really meant to bring about all of those, into concert in the book itself, which the whole book really has that interwoven through it.
Wow, that's so creative. So great. And you have that, you said you had that working for a while, like thinking
Yeah,
of
I mean,
creating.
like I said, in 2013, when I bought that URL, I was really thinking about doing it, but it was a much simpler approach that was really all of those were tied together, but it was more, it wasn't as clearly defined, but they were all
Yes,
together. And then as the
right.
time went on, the idea grew and grew and grew to be such a monster that I kept on pushing it off and off and off, But as time came, and yeah, I couldn't be more happy with it, and I'm really excited to get feedback from it. And you know
Yeah.
hopefully I'll launch it on Amazon at some time in the future, and hopefully don't
Yes.
take that thing hardcover it and all that fun stuff in the future as well.
Absolutely. That'll be so fantastic. That's a great concept. I love it. I can't wait to dive into that one too. Yeah, so we're gonna be busy reading until the next bundle
Exactly. Well,
and
that's the
doing the
beautiful thing,
class.
right? Like, you get the bundle and you can learn, like, you can check it all out and you can dive in with the things that just perk you right away, that you're just immediately resonating with, and dive
Yes.
in, enjoy those, and over the weeks, explore more, check out more, like, we encourage everyone to download everything soon because you have 1 year to download everything. But once you download it, you have it for life, right? So
That's good
there's
to
just
know.
so many beautiful souls in this bundle and so many people to connect with and, help you
Yes.
find your tribe and your community and the people that inspire you in the ways that, really make you feel like this is how I want to do it, and
Yeah.
it's so beautiful.
I love that. There are so many different, contributors, and so there is something for everyone, and Mother's Day is coming up. This would make such a great present for, your moms. I'm getting this for my mom. I know she's gonna love it, so I'm excited. Yay. Is there anything else that you feel like you wanna speak
Oh god.
about today
Well,
before
we
we
could talk about so many things. We
could
did.
talk forever, honestly, I could talk to you forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd
S
love to learn more about your yoga history and story. I mean, you did tell about your teacher training and all that fun stuff, and
Yeah.
maybe something about what else you're doing within yoga and some fun plans you have
Oh,
coming up, and where people can find you.
yeah.
I'd love to hear more about that too.
Okay, so yeah, so I had a journey in life which yoga really helped with that. Um, I I I used to be like terribly shy and very anxious, and so yoga helped with that. And then that kind of led me to learning EFT tapping and hypnotherapy, past
Yeah,
life regression. I'm really into past life work right now.
yeah,
Um, People always ask, are past lives real? And I don't really know if they are or not, but it's one of the most healing sessions that you can ever do. So I'm actually going back into my hypnotherapy roots and I'm taking the classes all over again with my teacher because she keeps learning new things.
mhm,
And so her name is Judy Ward, and she has the Hypnotherapy Institute of Spokane, Washington. So I'm
okay,
retaking her classes with another student, and um, it's great. I love it. And
mhm,
so all these things like the EFT tapping I learned first, and
mhm,
I thought that was amazing, and I
mhm,
wanted to bring that to everyone because it's a great way of releasing negative energy or yeah, yep, yep. And so, of course you know that too. Yes.
ah,
And I didn't know how to bring that to the world, and, my tapping mentor said, "Take hypnotherapy, you can get certified in it, and then you can help more people that way, and then you can also do hypnotherapy too." And
mhm,
so then after that, um, I found the raw food, and
mhm,
so it all kind of went together, so that I could help others, help myself, help my family.
mhm,
And so I'm diving into getting back into past life, which after a past life,
mhm,
I take people into kind of like when the past life is over, into kind of like a waiting period or just kind of a nowhere land. And
mhm,
so many great answers come from the divine, like
mhm,
so many great answers for humanity and for the person themselves. They learn about the past life, what that was teaching them, and they learn about maybe what they would do differently or what they wouldn't do. And
mhm,
just answers channel in. Like, I just
mhm,
write and write and write and give them what they've said because sometimes they don't remember.
yeah,
So, I'm kind of, like, going on instead of a healing journey, I'm not really, like, needing to heal as much anymore, but it's more about, like, the spiritual and trying to find that in the everyday and, like, how
mhm,
am I gonna respond to someone that sends me a text, that I'm not really happy with? How am I gonna respond to that? How am I gonna
yeah,
send love to that person anyway? Even though I
yeah,
can't maybe fully understand where they're coming from, I'm
yeah,
gonna send them love anyway and try to be as compassionate and kind as I can be.
mhm,
Learning more about I'm really enjoying all the groups in the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, like joining the raw food parties, doing the
mhm,
interviews, really getting to know more people, having
okay,
that connection. It's been so great. I think that's
mhm,
like the next step for me in evolving who I am, becoming who I am more. Like I feel like I am who I am on this
mhm,
diet, like who I was created to be. But now
mhm,
there's that freedom to go out even more. So
Yeah.
it feels really
That's
like my
beautiful.
youngest child is 21 now, so
Oh,
now I
cool.
get
I thought you were
to
21.
thank you. I feel like I'm 21. I
Yeah.
feel like it. That way I can like whatever's going to come for me next, I'm excited and ready. So,
Oh, that's
yeah.
so
Thank
beautiful.
you
Yeah,
so
that's
much.
so powerful, this lifestyle and how it brings you more close in contact with your own creative potential and, your spirit and like you said, like you are who you are and being more in contact with that and knowing where you want to create from, like instead of just
Yeah.
things kind of happening by happenstance, you start to see the synchronicity and start to see that thread to pull and expand on. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for allowing us to have this time together to just connect more, chit chat.
Yeah.
Um, we have so many things in common. It's really cool.
Yeah, I'm wondering, are we going to be meeting up at any festivals? Are you going to any retreats or festivals this year?
I haven't been to any. I
Yeah.
wanna see if I have anything locally here too, and if I
Mhm.
don't, I've been thinking about starting something because I
Yeah.
we're in this cold climate, and
Mhm.
I don't know how many raw vegans there are around me, but after
Mhm.
doing the ultimate raw vegan bundle, I feel like now connecting more. Like,
Yeah.
I think COVID, like, held me in a lot, but now I feel like branching out and meeting others. But are you going to any festivals? What's coming up next for
Yeah,
you?
I'm super excited. I haven't gone for a while. Like, I first did my first festivals in 2011 and did every year multiple festivals up until my motorcycle accident in 2018, and then COVID, of course, kind of shut that down a little bit too. But
Yeah.
this year, I'm excited to be going back. I'm going to one for the first time ever. There's one in Michigan, in Gaylord, Michigan, called the Vegan
Okay.
Wellness Retreat. So I'm really
Yeah.
excited to be going to that one,
Oh,
and
that's great.
that's in June. And then the end of June, just going into July, I'll be going to the Danish Fruit Festival or sorry,
Oh, that's great.
the Dutch Fruit Festival, rather, in the Netherlands. And that's going to be amazing, headed by Wendy, who's actually a part of the bundle as well.
Yes.
And I mentioned
She's
Sarah and Chase
great.
have a book in the bundle as well, and they're the heads of the vegan wellness retreat. And then in
Oh,
August, I'm going to the Woodstock Fruit Festival in California, and that's the first one I ever did was in 2011 at Woodstock, the Woodstock Fruit Festival. So yeah, I'm doing all three of those festivals, and I will give a little bit of a shameless promotion. If anyone is interested to go any of those festivals, you can get 10% or $100 off with my code Raw Advantage 100. And I have more info on my
okay.
website, but I'll put a link at some point there too to check out those festivals because just like this, coming
Oh,
together with like-minded people, when you can do that in person,
yes.
whether it's a small gathering, a fruit luck, a potluck, or a festival or retreat, it can be life-changing. It can be just
Oh,
amazing.
yes, to meet in person. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that'd be so incredible. Yeah, what's the date for the one in California?
The one in California, it is August. Is it, I know it ends on the 16th, so
Yeah.
9th to 16th, maybe. I believe it's a
Okay.
week, so I think it's the 9th or 10th to the 16th, and it's um, north northeast of San Francisco, about an hour and a half away
Oh,
from
it's
Francisco.
near Sacramento then?
I don't know, but I
Okay.
think maybe I'm pretty bad with
Yeah.
American geography, to be honest. Even though I've driven all over the entire United States, I've yeah, I've never been great at geography.
I'm not good at it either. I just know I used to live in Sacramento, and I have to go to Sacramento at some point and get a whole bunch of stuff out of storage and bring it
Yeah,
back to Washington State.
I'm
So maybe
leaving.
it can coordinate with that in August. Wouldn't
Yeah,
that be amazing?
yeah, that'd be
That'd be
super cool.
so fun.
It's gonna
That'd
be
be
a blast
super
for
cool.
sure. I'll be teaching a little bit of
Yeah.
yoga there and,
Oh,
making sauces and speaking, so it's gonna be a really fun time, and there's gonna be lots of people all on the same kind of vibe, and it just feels
yeah.
amazing when you're with your tribe in such a big group. It's amazing.
Amazing. Yes, that sounds so incredible. Yay. Well, it was so wonderful to talk to you.
Yeah,
I
you
know you
too.
probably have other interviews today and lots of stuff. And we're on day
1
7.
Yeah, day
1
7.
hour.
1 hour I got
Yeah.
with, Allie going into her book, Joyful Smoothies. It's gonna be awesome.
Great. I think I'm gonna have an interview with her on Monday, I feel
Oh,
like.
nice.
Or no. No, 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 no. maybe tomorrow or Saturday. We haven't
Oh,
quite made the time yet. So great. Thank
well,
you so much. This was so wonderful.
well, it's such a blessing. I
Namaste.
reciprocated 100%, and thank you for inviting me on here too, and for chatting. And it was awesome to deep dive a little bit more into your beginnings too, and the contrasts and and more similarities between us. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so great. Thank you.
Well, everyone, I hope
Namaste.
you guys enjoy this. And just a last reminder to check out the bundle in either of our links in our bios, or in either of our descriptions and all of our stuff. And yeah, thank you so much.
Namaste.
Bye-bye. Namaste.
Bye.